Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a very tropical set. So we've got some palm trees going on today, we've got a parrot, and we've got a lot of tropical leaves going on. And of course, pink is my favorite color, so it had to be included. We've got berry blush, we've also got some nude, which is food coma. And we also have a shade of white. So this one's called Blessing. Madam Glam have actually quite a lot of different shades of white, but they're kind of all white. If that makes sense. So they've got their perfect white. They've got obviously this one, which I don't know. They definitely vary, but they're just so minusculely different, if that's even a word, that you can't even tell. So whenever I run out of, let's say, my perfect white, then I'll just use other whites and you can just not tell at all. So we're using that one today. So when it comes to our background shades, my loves, we've got one full white, we've got two nude, we've got one pinky, and then I think I've muddled up myself. Yeah, I just noticed. I just wiped it off. So actually we've got two nude, and then we've got one pink, and we're going to have two ombre nails. So I'm going to have the pink at the top with the white at the bottom, and we're going to ombre the two together, and we'll do that on both nails. So we've got two going on. I only show you guys the one, and then I do the other one off camera, and then of course off camera real quick I will do another layer of everything going on. Then we can crack on with our nail art design. Majority of it today is going to be stamping. I'll be using my tropical stamping plate. So happy to have it out. I feel like this is like my third set already, and we're only in May, but I just can't help myself. Now that it's out, it's out. And it's out big time. I just keep getting drawn to it and wanting to do more and more palm tree nails and all sorts. So now that everything has had two layers, we are doing a French tip on the two nude shade nails. So just using my regular nail art brush, and I'm just doing the smile line, then colouring in the tip on both. I'll show you guys the second one in a second. And then it's gonna go into the lamp for a nice cure. Again, off camera, I will go ahead and do a second layer to make the French tip more opaque. And then at that stage, we are ready to start our our stamping journey in today's designs. So quite a lot of it, well, half of it is just regular stamping, half of it is, I think, reverse stamping. So we're colouring in the design on our stamper and stamping it down. So today, it's one of those stamping plates that I use quite often. I've used it quite often last year too when it comes to summer nails. So it's one of those plates that if you ever struggle with overall stamping plates and kind of envisioning or designing designs, then this is the kind of plate you want to grab, because I've got so many different designs on my channel. So if you're ever stuck, you can just hop on and have a look at what I've done, recreate it, switch it up, make it more like suit what you're doing. So I they're usually the nice ones to have, basically. So here I'm using a pale pink, and I'm picking up these leaves, and I'm going to stamp it on our full covered pink nails. So at first I was worried because the stamping polish is lighter than the gel polish, so I was a bit concerned that it might not come out very well. But as you can see, it came out pretty good. I was really, really happy with the pigments and everything. It basically did exactly what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to be quite faded in the background. I didn't want it like super in your face. So this was perfect, basically. Perfect. And then on top of it, we're going to stamp a parrot. So that beautiful parrot right there in the middle, we're going to use it. So we're going to use some black to pick it up. That'll be our outline of the parrot. And then to give it some colour, I decided to colour it in with white on our stamper. Then we'll wait for it to dry. We'll stamp in the center of that leafy nail, and that will be that. So our stamping polishes today are all from Born Pretty. What else? The stamping plate, as you saw, is from maybe London. It's been a while since I've ordered from them. I feel like they've kind of stepped away from stamping plates, and they've been focusing more on, I think it's like stick-on designs for your nails, but it's gel and you cure it. They've kind of, I don't know if it's like a new product that they've made up or something, but it looks cool, but it's not stamping plates, so therefore not useful for me anymore, unfortunately. So yeah, quite sad, to be honest. I feel like there's just not that many companies in the UK doing stamping plates, I have to be honest, and trying to get you stamping plates from like abroad can be quite expensive sometimes. The shipping costs are crazy. Anyways, back to the designs. I do have, I think, 2 of my stampers going on today, so we'll be a little bit quicker than usual when it comes to our stamping. So I am picking up this flower with like 2 leaves sticking out of it. So the flower is a pink shade, but it's not the same pink we used a moment ago. It's a darker shade of pink. And then the leaves I've coloured in with this light shade of green. In my little prototype, I've kind of wanted to do like a greeny ombre on the leaves, but the leaf itself is so tiny that you can barely see any of the colour anyway, so I decided to just keep it simple and not go crazy. Basically, there's no point because you can't see it. If the leaves were massive, then that would be great, and I would have, but unfortunately it's not. And I'm kind of trying out different techniques. Maybe that's why you're seeing a bit more stamping than usual, but I've been kind of playing around, trying different techniques, trying different colour, different methods of colouring things in on the stamper, and getting involved in a bit more precise, intricate, detailed colouring in and stuff. So been just kind of playing around with it and just seeing how else stamping can elevate my designs, basically. So that's why you're seeing a bit more stamping on my channel here and there. And here and there, I'll also be kind of including the different little tricks I've learnt or tried out. And yeah, so stick around if you're interested in stamping. So once I've got my flowers done, I've picked out 2 different ones. Both have the leaves on the sides, but one is more like pointed petals and one is a bit more rounded petals. And I stamp it on the French tip nails, one at the bottom, one at the top, but like opposite to one another. So if one's at the top right hand side, the other one will be at the bottom left hand side. And since we've got 2 French tips, we're gonna have to repeat the process. So here's me being efficient, picking up 2 of my flowers up again. If you have 2 stampers and stuff like that, you're actually, not only are you able to be efficient with your time, but you're also able to be efficient with your product. So although I'm not in the shop right now, annoyingly, I'm so sorry, but it's a good time to actually explain that when you're using stamping polish, it dries up. So sometimes, or most of the time when I do a little blob, I never know how much I'm going to need, and most of the time I blob way too much down and then I waste product. But now that I've got 2 of the images on my stamper already, I'm able to use up the polish that I've dropped down, and most of the time I have barely anything left, which is really nice. So if you can get your hands on stampers, or if you know you're going to be stamping, you enjoy it and stuff, I highly recommend getting your hands on some more stampers. It just makes your life so much easier. And also, if you're obviously colouring things in on your stamper, whilst one is drying down before you stamp it down, you can start working on another design, whether it's colouring it in or already stamping onto the nail and so on. So the more stampers in theory, the better for you. If you're into stamping, of course, I won't be doing it on a regular. If not, then don't worry about it. You can get very affordable stampers. You don't need to spend your money on any crazy expensive ones. That large one I have is a Born Pretty one. I'm pretty sure I got it on AliExpress a while back. They're like £2, £3, nothing crazy expensive. So don't feel pressured to have to buy like a £15, £20 stamper or something. I don't know if they even exist. Probably Clear Jelly Stamper have like expensive ones. But yeah, cheap ones work too, just like cheap stamping polish works too. Born Pretty, super affordable, very cheap, and it works very, very well. It's my all-time favorite stamping polish to use. So now on to our palm tree nails. So the stamping plate has these really nice, like scenic looking water and stuff. So I've placed that down first, and then on top of that I'm stamping one large palm tree, on each nail. So we're doing the same thing on both, but the scenic image is different to one another because we have 2. So I wanted to use both. Once that's stamped down, at that stage we'll be doing some crystals, but I'll show you guys just the one, I think, because the other one is very repetitive. Here I dropped all my cava beads. Don't even ask. I was so upset with myself. I love my cava beads, and seeing that they've all just fell. So I picked up my little container and it dropped on camera. I've cut it out for you guys so you don't have to see my misery. But unfortunately it's all over my desk. So I thought, you know what? Whilst it's all over the place, let me try, rather than just spending hours trying to gather it up, I'm going to just pick it up off my table and place it onto my nails. So that's what we're doing today. It actually made it quite easy. That was quite nice, but other than that, it was quite painful later on to try and save as many as I can. So what I'm doing here is that first large crystal there, I'm going to do like a little border all around the crystal with cava beads. Then once I'm happy, I will connect the other caviar beads, sorry, not caviar beads, the other AB crystals together with caviar beads. So where I've placed that rhinestone glue gel is where I'm going to place caviar beads, but the rest of those crystals will not have the caviar beads all around it. Only this one will have it, the rest will not. So I only show you footage of the one because it was a pretty long process. Like, it takes some time to pick up all these caviar beads, place it down. Once you've placed it down, I like to use like a cuticle pusher little tool to then help me straighten up the lines. So at this stage, I'm not too fussy about where I'm placing my caviar beads, not too fussed. Once I've placed everything down, then I can have time to mess about with it. Sometimes I try to straighten up before I'm done, but you know, it just ends up moving around anyways. So the best practice for me anyways, I like to just do it right at the end, pop it straight into the lamp once I've got it all sorted and how I like it, and I know that way it's staying in place rather than fix it up, leave it for 10 minutes whilst I'm working on something else, and then they all move about and just big old mess. So I like to take my time that way and just do it all at the end. So right now it looks a bit wonky and funny, but we will straighten it up. I'm not sure if I include that in the video, but I do use a cuticle pusher little tool and I move it about. You can use anything, you don't need to use a cuticle pusher of any sorts, just anything that you feel comfortable and you feel like you've got good control in, oh there it is, in using. So this is the little one I use. I always use it for these kind of things. So here's just me pushing around the caviar beads, fiddling with it, making sure it's as straight as I can. Obviously it's a bit difficult sometimes, but I'm trying my best. It will then go into the lamp. After that in the lamp, everything would get a matte top coat. I did not include that in today's footage. I'm not too sure why, but it's gone. So in just a second, you're going to see the final results. But remember, I top coated these. But yeah, here are the final results. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I would love to see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.